So as Nehemiah looks at Israel's behavior on the Sabbath day, he sees four behaviors. First of all, he sees people treading wine presses and bringing in heaps of grain. That's a way of describing that people were just doing regular work on the Sabbath day. Then we next see them bringing in goods to sell at the market. Grapes, figs, all kinds of loads. They're bringing them into Jerusalem so that they would have products to sell at the market. In verse 15, we also see specifically this mentioning of food. I warned them on the day when they sold food. There's the selling of food that's taking place in Jerusalem. That's the third thing. And then lastly, in verse 16, we see that it's not just the people of Israel who are doing these things, but they have the people of Tyre. These are foreigners. These are not people of the covenant. These are Tyrians who are selling goods in Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. Nehemiah, starting in verse 19, he enacts what we today would call blue laws. Blue laws are restrictive laws on Sunday that address things that get in the way of worship. And in the United States, it usually was around commerce, stores being open, and the sale of alcohol. But Nehemiah is enacting blue laws of sorts. He is prohibiting certain behaviors on the Sabbath day. Well, what's Nehemiah's response to that? He threatens them physically. He says, if you do that again, I will lay hands on you. So that means either arrest or a violent assault of these merchants who are outside the walls. Nehemiah is not going to tolerate any kind of trade on the Sabbath day because he desires that God's worship would be kept entire, that it would be protected in accordance with God's law. What is the Sabbath day like in our country? Is there a recognizable Sabbath day? A day where people stop from their regular labors and devote themselves to worship? Sunday in our country is like any other day. In fact, we revel in making Sunday the opposite of what it should be. All the major events in our country, whether it be sports or entertainment awards or whatever it is, what day are those events always on? The championship games, the finals. When are those events? They're always on the Lord's Day in our country. If the civil magistrate would punish the Sabbath breaker, the stores would close. These are all people that have control over these things, and it is their responsibility to ensure that the Sabbath day is kept holy. They are responsible to ensure that the people under their care are free to worship God for being creator and redeemer. That's the significance of the Sabbath, and Israel has tossed it out the window. He has given us one day in 7 to be a special day of worship and of rest, a day where God's people recognize that they are created by God, that they are redeemed by God, and therefore they should worship God. It is truly the market day of the soul, and it is a day that should be protected.